I don't have my intro here. Hello there, Internet. Mogwai here, and I got another budget reaction Andy video for you guys. It's just so... That just doesn't sound right, man. But yeah, this is not even a reaction Andy video because I am going to be talking about Taliyah, which is a champion that I'm not technically reacting to because I do know that... I actually don't remember much about her because I saw her on my Twitter, you know, the day she was revealed, and then I didn't really have access to a computer, so I couldn't really look too much into her. And I do know that she's based around landmarks, though. Like, she's the landmark champion, which is extremely exciting. I saw on my Twitter many top players very excited about experimenting with Taliyah, and I share that excitement as I feel this champion is something that we knew was coming. Like, we knew that we would eventually have a champion that would be centered around landmarks. You see Lissandra, which also technically works around landmarks as well, but no other champion is as focused on this specific card type as Taliyah is, and I think it's extremely fitting because she's kind of like a sand surfer, right? So she, you know, her ability is connected with the land, technically, in a way. So I feel like Riot definitely aced this from a flavor perspective, and I haven't seen the video, man. So I want to see her in action and see how her level up animation is and all that stuff because I have no idea how that is. So this is technically a reaction video. Come on now. I can't even talk apparently though. So without further ado, let's stop rambling. Let's 12-year-old this bitch and let's see what Taliyah is all about. We're gonna be talking about the cards as well. I've already done the severe reveal one, and I figured I would, you know, go full circle. So let's do this.
Point the way, and I'll make the way.
I like that art a
Come
lot.
on, there's so much to see.
Okay. So she's a 5. Okay, she was a 5-drop. Yeah, I remember her being very understated, like a 5-mana 2/4. Play, summon an exact copy of an allied landmark. This is potentially a very powerful effect. And then the level up is you've summoned 5 or more landmarks. This would seem really hard to do before this expansion because we have a very limited set amount of landmarks. And a lot of regions have landmarks that are really like off, like for example Vaults of Helia or Targon's Peak are not really landmarks that you can fit in on any deck, you know. A lot of the landmarks that we have up until now are very expensive, you know. They're 4 mana, 5 mana, there's some 3 mana here, but with this new set we're seeing a bunch of very cheap landmarks, so leveling up Taliyah seems like a very doable task. It doesn't really come off like it's complicated at all, and I haven't really sat down and thought too much about potential combos with Taliyah because I think there's a lot to explore. I think her play effects is extremely powerful potentially, and it's gonna make it's gonna lead to some very interesting deck building because you're gonna take into account other regions and try to figure out which region has the most breakable landmark with this sort of effect, right? So very exciting champion from the bat, and I want to see, you know, I want to see more. Let's just stop talking and see what Riot's got for us here.
They're so sweet when they're sleeping. Hope you get pebbles in your shoe.
I think they changed her voice actress, right? New keyword predict. Oh, I love this. This is Scry. We're getting Scry. Listen, I mean, it's like Legend of Runeterra. This kind of reminds me that how much of a baby Legends of Runeterra is compared to other card games like Magic, for example, right? We're finally getting Scry, which is predict in this case. We're getting more card draw here and there. We have landmarks, which are very heavily inspired by emblems from Shadowverse, and now we're getting a crucial effect in card games to enhance consistency, which is predict. You pick a card from among the 3 in your deck, and then you shuffle the deck and put that card on top. What's very important to note about this is one of the things that comes to head immediately is the fact that allegiance now may not have to be so rigid from a deck building perspective. So what I mean is that you don't necessarily need to build like a 34 to 37, you know, one region card deck and then splash something else to justify allegiance units. Now with predict, you can run a more evened out sort of distribution and utilize predict to set up the allegiance procs, right? Whether you can do this reliably or not depends on, you know, how many cards with predict we get and how many of them are like 1 or 2 mana, right? And potentially like in spell form as well. Ultimately, I love it. I really like this. I think it was a matter of time before we got a mechanic like this, and I like that we're getting it now. We see the Psy Scout right here. If you pick a landmark with the predict effect that you get upon playing her, you obtain Elusive. Now, I don't think she's great because best case scenario, you have a 3-mana 2/4 with Elusive. I mean, she is predicting you. It is a 2/4 with Elusive that is predicting, but you have to target a landmark, which definitely, because otherwise she would kind of like be an auto-include, right? Like, I definitely was undervaluing the fact that she is a predict, and she does give you an Elusive blocker. So never mind, this card can actually be really good. The thing is, it's very limited to what deck list you want to build around her, because you have to be targeting landmarks with her every time, right? Or at least the majority of the time. So that means you have to have a deck with a high landmark density, which does definitely limit the builds that Psy Scout can actually put in the work. I said in twice, but I shouldn't have.
Miss your family? I miss some of them. The others are right here.
I thought she was gonna say I miss some of them. The other ones are fucks. I hate them.
Watch out for quicksand!
When an enemy is summoned, destroy me to grant it vulnerable. I love that you can spawn a couple of these at the same. I really like these cards, man. I love the fact that they're going turbo with this new card type. You know, like it feels right.
Looks like you're stuck. Ha! You fell for it. Together, we are stronger than stone.
Oh my god, dude, that war! Oh my god, that's so amazing! Okay. Holy... Dude, I thought reggaeton was top... Oh my god, that was beautiful.
Together, we are stronger than stone,
Dude, look at that.
faster than the wind.
My god, how much do they invest into these animations, dude? Jesus. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I have to. If I wasn't recording a video, I would probably watch this like 20 times.
Together, we are stronger than stone, faster than the wind.
And the music too. I love it. I love it. Play summon an exact copy of an allied landmark. Attack, deal 2 to my blocker. If it's dead or gone, deal 2 to the enemy axis instead. If you have a landmark, do this 2 more times. She's unblockable, dude. She is unblockable. Like, that is just... That's so awesome. It's fitting because she's kind of like surfing with the sand, and as she gains momentum, you know, she becomes harder to stop, right? Like, it makes sense. I love Talia's design, man. It's great. It's great. He's just kind of like throwing rocks at it. It's like,
Like threading a needle.
What does that do? Oh yeah, I saw this. Yeah, that. I love that card. Oh, that combo! Oh, that combo! All right! Oh, you cheeky you! Oh shit! I didn't think of that. I actually did not. I didn't know that card. I didn't think of that. Oh man!
Great day.
What? Why did I leave this champion for last? What am I doing? Oh my! This is Lissandra. I'm sorry, the Shurima champions are very exciting. Like, they're pretty cool. Like Reggaeton, Nasa is perhaps the most, and Severe as well. But I'm sorry, man. Like the Froyord. Well, she's like Talia Shurima too. What am I even talking about? Like, up until this point, the other regions were stealing the show. We had Kindred, insane, right? Kindred, Lissandra are just some of the most dope champions I've ever seen in this goddamn game. And they came in different, like in the non-new region, right? So I was kind of starting to believe that, you know, it's just like, even Jarvan is epic as hell in Demacia. It's just like, maybe Shurima is just going to get overshadowed a little bit by these other regions getting some dope-ass champions. But then I see Talia, and it's just like, man, it all fits. And of course, we've yet to witness Azir, right? Which is definitely coming. We'll probably have a revelation like at the very end, you know, Aurelion Soul style. But my God, it's beautiful. Let's actually hop on to... Oh man, did I... Oh no. The video was fine, right? Like, distributions were good. No, they weren't. Why weren't they? Yeah, that was off. I don't understand. Oh, it's because I didn't have this selected for some reason. Yeah. Oh well. The video image has been a bit distorted because my OBS, like my scene didn't update, but it is what it is. I think you guys still got the gist of what I have to say, and we saw most of the effects anyways. But OBS definitely failed me a little bit there. Regardless, yeah, really, like, out of Shurima, Talia is the most exciting champion for me. It's not even a contest, honestly. And then I really am most hyped for, outside of Shurima, for Kindred and Lissandra. It's Kindred, Lissandra, and Talia. Those are the 3 champions that I'm like super stoked about. So let's and 2 of them I like missed on the actual review. That sucks. Let's actually go to Mobalytics and let's talk about some of these cards. All right, here we are. So as you can see, we got Talia right here. This is where we left it off last time, talking about Lissandra. We got 5 mana Talia. You need to have summoned 5 or more landmarks to level her up, but keep in mind it's not a scene effect, so that's very important, which makes Talia incredibly easy to level up, in my opinion, in the right deck. Like, she's not difficult to level up at all, especially after having seen some spells that actually spawn multiple landmarks at once. You know, that really does go a long way. Her level up version is really neat, making it a very lot of, you know, momentum when it comes to your offense in the mid to late game. I really like her leveled up form. It's not overly like crazy, but it definitely, Talia definitely gets even better considering what her signature spell is. And in this case, picking one to create in hand, 3 random landmarks you can afford, right? So this includes gives you options, right? And this card will definitely test the adaptability of this round. And if you summon a landmark this game, give it +3/+1 instead. That's a very strong burst for 3 mana. I mean, or a Wrath, so it does feel like a bit of a power creep in that sense, but you do have to summon a landmark. Much more to say about it. We got the 2 mana landmark, another, you know, or summon in this case, a Grumpy Rock Bear, which is a 5/4. I really like the art of the Grumpy Rock Bear, and I love this kind of design. Like I said, emblem from Shadowverse. We got a 4 mana 2/4 Desert Naturalist, English, with the play effect, destroy a landmark. If it's allied, summon a Grumpy Rock Bear. Whoa! Whoa, are there any landmarks that I have to look into it? Like, what other landmarks? There has to be some sort of landmark, or even like stuff like Rolling Sands, you know? Like, if you have even a potential win condition, what's important to note is that with this expansion, Tahm Kench Soraka is going to be much worse because there's going to be way more landmark interaction in the game, especially within Shurima. And cards like Desert Naturalist can just be an auto win, pretty much, against Tahm Kench Soraka. I don't think Tahm Kench Soraka is a well-designed archetype. I don't like Star Spring, but ultimately, you know, it's going to be nice for it to be, because I do like many aspects of the deck, right? For more landmarks this game, grant the strongest ally +2/+2, which doesn't seem too great, but keep in mind that the countdown is also shorter. It goes from 3 to 2 with the Salt Spire. Ultimately, is this justify generate these cute looking Grumpy Rock Bears? We got the Rock Hopper. I like the art a lot here. When I'm summon a Rolling Sands, which is this landmark right here. Really dope design. You're getting a slightly understated 2-drop that still has most of his stat line packed in on what matters, which is power, allowing it to block into fearsome units, amongst other things. Yeah, a little bit frail on the health side, but it is spawning you a free landmark for that price. And what a good landmark on top of that. It may seem like it's just like a bit of a different version of Hired Gun, but it's spawning you a landmark, which helps you level up Talia, and it also potentially can give you a landmark to use Desert Naturalist on, amongst other things. And I really love I really like this design. I like the fact that we're getting so many cheap landmarks that don't have like crazy game-winning effects. It's exactly the direction they need to take in, and I'm super satisfied with it. We got Unraveled Earth, which summons 2 Rolling Sands and cycles itself. Very neat design, allowing you to summon 2 landmarks immediately, and then replacing itself while also advancing your Talia level up progression by 40%. Ancient Hourglass, obliterate an ally and summon a Stasis statue in its place. I did see this card before. I don't remember. I don't know if I went over this card earlier, but this is a very neat. This is a really cool card because this is another source of like removal, right? You have Ancient Hourglass, which can be used. It's kind of like a recall effect. So you go with this. You go preparation, and not preparation. Where's the? Oh, here's the statue. Countdown 1, you summon an exact copy of the obliterated unit and replace. If this is used on a unit with a summoning effect, then you're getting extra value out of it. So this card can be used as a way to counter removal. For 2 mana, it kind of like works the same as Glimpse Beyond. While Glimpse Beyond is, you know, sacrificing that board presence to get you card advantage and more options to work with. Ancient Hourglass, on the other hand, is navigating around removal and is in a way directly countering it by, you know, if you go for a Vengeance, you go for an Ancient Hourglass, you obliterate the ally and you summon a status statue, and then next turn you'll get that ally back. And again, if you have a summon effect, then even more value out of it. So really, really good card, actually. I think this card will see a lot of play, especially if we are in a somewhat of a control environment, like more so of a reason for this card to be played. And I love the design. I think this is one of the coolest designs that we've seen this expansion, and it's a really neat card as well. We got Threaded Volley, which is the ability from leveled up Talia. We have the Teen Spirit, which has destroy. Oh, so this is the ability from the skill from Desert Naturalist. Teen Spirit. what is teen? Like teenager? There must be another definition for teen right here. If anybody knows, let me know in the comment section down below, because I don't think this means teenager spirit. I don't think that makes much sense. But I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just an idiot. I don't see it. We got the Ancient Preparations, a 1 mana landmark that predicts and then countdown to summon a Clockling. I fucking love it. I auto include, in case you're wondering, a 3 of in every Talia deck under the sun. No doubt about it. Like, just outstanding card for that sort of archetype, and great. Aspiring Chronomancer, 2 mana, 2/3 vanilla stat line with the predict effect. Very nice card as well. I can see this card being played in all sorts of Shurima decks, to be honest, because a 2-drop that allows you to, you know, enhance your next draw it goes a long way. I think this is just a good card, period. We got Xenotype Researchers, a 3 mana, 3/3 that says when I'm summoned, grant 3 random allies in your deck +3/+3. Dude, this is a crazy effect. It's very random, right? It's very random. But if you have the ability to, like, we've talked about summon effects, right? We've talked about the ability to, like, imagine this card with stuff like, not necessarily like stuff like Chronicler or Ruin, because I think you're sacrificing too much value on board for this effect. But any sort of, like we've seen, you know, even something as simple as the Ancient Hourglass, right? Like you can obliterate her and then resummon her again if your opponent has, like, I don't know, if they go for like a Grasp of the Undying, for example, and then you get her back, and then you've effectively buffed 6 random allies in your deck +2/+3. Some of these buffs can be, you know, on top of the other, right? But this, if you're able to recycle this unit, you will actually see the value. You will draw into it. There's no way you won't. So very intriguing card in that sense. It depends on how consistently and how, you know, from a quantity perspective, like how many times you can trigger this without sacrificing too much momentum or value. But if it's worth it, it's a very, very potent effect. We got Kahiri, the Student. When I'm summoned, grant me +1/+1 if you predicted this game. So a 3 mana 4/4. You know, old loyal Badger Bear. Right? I mean, if you run a set with a deck with a full set of Ancient Preparations and Aspiring Chronomancer, I don't see much of a reason not to play this. A 3 mana 4/4 is pretty damn good. There's a reason why every Demacia deck spammed Loyal Badger Bear as it was released. So there's just no way Kahiri won't be that good, right? In the right deck, obviously. And then we have his, you know, grown-up version of him. He looks sick as hell, by the way. I love his getup and his staff. Like, honestly, he looks amazing. Reminds me a little bit of Teferi, actually. Kahiri the Returned, fearsome unit. Yeah, very, very spooky. 6 mana 4/4. When I'm summoned, create a copy of me in your deck. When you see me in a prediction, grant all allied copies of me everywhere +2/+2. So he keeps spawning himself in your deck, and when you see him, like, you see him. in a prediction. You don't have to like choose him to draw, by the way. Very important to note. But when you see him in a prediction, he gets +2/+2. So the idea behind Kahiri is to have a deck with a lot of predictions and see him more and more as he creates more and more copies of himself, even though you have to summon him to enable this, right? And thus get like a very beefy, fearsome late game finisher. Is this good enough as a finisher though? Because, you know, we could get like a very, like imagine like a 10/10 with fearsome for 6 mana. Just how good is that actually? I don't know. I kind of wish Kahiri did something more than just get big. You know what I mean? I feel like they could have, especially considering how dope the art is. But I mean, that at the same time, like Kahiri the student also kind of has the same design. They're just really powerful mages, right? If the stars align and their conditions are met. And I guess that's just what Kahiri is, and we shouldn't expect more of him. But he's very vanilla in that sense. He reminds me a lot of the Legion General. Is the Legion General, right? The 5-drop from Noxus. It's kind of like he's got that same vibe basically. As we got Perseverium, the 2-mana landmark that says when I'm summoned, draw 1, countdown 2, draw 1. I love it. An auto include for any sort of control or late game deck that revolves around, or that includes Shurima, I think, because this card is basically drawing you 2, and I think this card is pretty much an auto include for Talia as well. I'm not sure if it's a full set because you are sacrificing some tempo with this, but ultimately it's a way to get card advantage, albeit a bit delayed. You know, you're getting half of the cards as you're playing it, but you are getting card advantage, and you are progressing towards Talia's level up, so it feels like it's meant to be for that deck, right? Maybe I'm wrong though. Maybe it's not as much of an auto include because maybe the 2-mana price that you're paying and the delay make it a little bit less reliable. But it cycles itself upon entry, so I have a hard time believing this card won't be very good, or at least, you know, kind of like an auto include in certain decks. We got 4-mana Promising Future slow speed spell that says grant an allied landmark my countdown completion effect activates twice. Now this is the kind of shit I like. This kind of wacky design. Wait, what can we do here? With Stasis Statue, like this onto Stasis Statue just allows you to, you know, kind of like the combo that we saw in the video to begin with, right? With Hibernating Rock Bear, you get 2 Grumpy Bears, so 4-mana 5/4. You're not really, no. It has to be something, getting something big out of Stasis Statue. And maybe other landmarks besides Shurima will see like an actual reason to play this, because you can't justify this onto like low impact landmarks. You just can't. You can use it on Blighted Ravine for a full-on wipe, you know, and 4 damage to the face. You can even use it on a Frozen Thrall to get another 8/8 Overwhelm. It's not that bad there, actually. You can use it on Entomb the same way you can use it on the other 2-drop landmark that I mentioned from Shurima. And I'd have to like slowly but surely look at all the landmarks and see like what more potential combinations we could see. I don't think it's justified with Star Tipped Peak. With Sandswept Tomb, there's no countdown, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, I have to look at this card. Like right now, there are some strong payoffs, but there's nothing too crazy, right? I think I need to chill and take more time, and also wait for like all the cards to be revealed, because I have a feeling Promising Future has a promising combo to come, pun intended. But I do believe that we're gonna have to wait and see for it, or maybe I'm missing it, right? Like maybe I'm just not being patient enough. And there is already a very, very crazy combo with it, but I don't currently see it as of now. Nonetheless, like I mentioned, Talia definitely the most anticipated, like most definitely the one that I will be deck building with. Is first, like I'll say it now, I'm just super excited for her and the landmark package and everything, and I can't wait. Like Talia is one of the shining aspects of this review. I also know that she like I am familiar with the character, and I do know that she has, first of all, she has way thicker eyebrows, and she's also like tanner, right? And I do believe they announced that they are going to change her art a little bit to match that more. And they also even changed her voice actress. You do what you want to do, like, right? Like, whatever. Regardless, I'm just saying that because in my mind I see that as like a voice actor is like losing a specific job, you know. Is that I'm all for, you know, them making Talia look more like Talia is supposed to look, and that's basically it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think about Talia with the streaming getup and everything, and we'll see if the Brazilian flag returns or not. Time will tell. That's all day. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for regular Legends of Frontera content.